do for a living?
Yeah.
You know, I want this car
Yep.
here. And he did it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he saw that there was a better way for him and his family. Well, at the time it was just him and his son.
Yeah.
And the next step though is, you know, you got to put your head down. You got to work.
Yeah.
You either got to go to school and improve your brains, or you just got to work super hard and then be smart with your money. But it can be done.
Okay. Have you ever experienced poverty?
To an extent. I mean, it's
We were
kind of
pretty
hard.
poor growing up, but
Yeah, it's
I don't know if we were considered poverty, but
yeah. It all kind of depends on your definition of poverty. Like our family, I remember growing up, we would always get like sack lunches, and all the other kids would get school lunch, and I was like,
Mhm.
why didn't we get it? And you know, it was because we couldn't afford it, and then finally we were able to talk, you know, our parents into letting us school lunch. But when we did that, we were never paying full price. We
Mhm.
actually got a discount lunch
Mhm.
because our income level was low enough. And so between that, never eating out, never having like the nicest clothes, we never had like, you know, the nicest bikes or the nicest toys or anything like that. But as kids, I don't know that we really ever noticed that.
yeah, I don't really, I never realized we were poor, even though we were in handmade clothes and
Yeah, yeah, and so, I mean, technically, we probably were within the poverty line, but as kids, yeah, we didn't realize it. Our parents, I think, probably did, and I think that's where they would, you know, they put their heads down and they were a little more ingenuitive, where they would find different ways, little side gigs to make a little extra
Yeah.
money to get by. And
I remember mom sewing soccer jerseys all summer long.
yeah, like between that, working at home so that she could watch us, so they didn't have to pay for
Yeah.
daycare, and then dad doing, you know, fixing up cars on the side, selling those, trying to make a little extra money on the side. But yeah, I know there were times where they were basically down to, you know, nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and waiting for dad to get back into work when spring started, and there were some really close times, and I think that lasted till I was probably about in high school or so.
I
Where he got
figured
promoted.
about, yeah, when we moved out of our old house or so.
Yeah, he finally got promoted. You know, he was making more money, and I think that's when things started. He started saving more money, and we started getting ahead. But up to that point, yeah, it was, you know, can we go on this trip? No, we don't have the
Yeah.
money. So, it never really felt like we were in
Yeah.
poverty, but
It didn't bother me.
technically, I think we probably were within that poverty line.
I would bet we were. Okay. Does your family, our family, have a history of poverty? Any history of poverty?
It is tough again because it's like, you know, what is poverty? Like, but I look at Grandma and Grandpa Barker, farmers. They didn't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
The way they got by is they had a bunch of kids, and those kids worked the farm.
They were the labor force.
Yeah, and so they never really had a lot of money to just stash away and save for, you know, any type of a
Mhm.
rainy day. But being a farm, yeah, they were able to at least have their own food. They had milk, they had
Yeah,
their crops, they had meat from the cows. Like they could get by doing that. Technically, yeah, they could have sold a bunch of land and gotten out of poverty really quick, which eventually they
Mm-hmm.
did sell the land and became pretty rich. But before that, yeah, it was always
Yeah.
make do with what you have. If
Again,
it's broke, you fix it.
Grandma made all their clothes. All their food was 100% was off the farm.
Yeah. So I don't think they had a lot of money. It was one of those things where it was enough to get by,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's kind of where maybe like dad was in that same boat where he's
Mhm.
like, okay, we're gonna kind of be there.
Just
And
slowly
then-
build on it.
Yeah, he slowly built. But I think that's why Grandma and Grandpa Barker, they always push education.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted all their kids to go to school, and it was because they knew if they went to school, it would help them
Yeah.
get out of that and actually have a better
Yeah.
life.
And all 9 of them have bachelors or higher. All right. What's the first thing that you would do if you found yourself in poverty?
I'd probably cry. No, I mean, honestly, yeah, maybe I would cry at first. I'd feel bad for myself. And then I'd only allow that for just a short period of time. Next thing I would do is I would look and be like, okay, what do I need to do to get out of poverty? Obviously, I need to find a job. I need to find a way of making money. I need to figure out, hey, am I spending too much money here? Do I need to create a better budget, cut expenses? I figure out exactly what led me to that and stop it. So stop the dam from like leaking water everywhere.
Yep.
And then once I had that figured out, then it's a matter of, okay, where can I make money? What do I need to do in order to be successful? Do I need to go back to school, learn more, get a different degree? Do I need to just put my head down, work really hard? Like whatever it is, go out and do it.
Awesome. All right. That does it. Thanks.
Yeah.